Morgan, what sort of impression is Guy Boucher made on you so far?
He's been great. We met a few days ago for a while and had a chance to get to know one another, and he's obviously a good communicator. Obviously feels comfortable running the power play. Has a lot of experience in the league, so we're lucky to have him.
What's your reaction to, I guess, a bit of a change in the units, you with those guys,
Yeah.
and John moving up to the...
I think it's great. I mean, I've watched John play the power play for years now, and like I said yesterday, I think he's one of the best in the league, and his patience and his puck skills are unmatched, I think is what I said yesterday. And so to add him to a group that already has those forwards is a unique opportunity, and I think that it's a great chance for our team to improve off what we did last year and for him to make a huge impact.
How does that conversation go? Does Sheldon mention this to you in the summer?
Yeah, it's pretty short. I mean, you want what's best for your team, and the coach wants what's best for the team, and having John on the ice with those guys at any point, I think is good for the team. So I think it's a chance again for our power play to take a step forward and improve, and that leads to wins. And I think if you look at the playoffs and you look at important games over the course of the regular season, there's opportunities for your power play to win games, and as a group, that's what you try to do. And that being said, our unit isn't going to take our responsibility lightly. We understand that we're going to have to contribute and score and create momentum, and so that's not something that we're going to lose sight of.
What do you like about what Timothy adds? To the group as well.
Yeah, obviously a guy that has great skill. I think if you've watched the last couple of seasons, you've seen growth and confidence and great ability with a puck and a great shot. So I think it's just another opportunity for him to take a step. And again, if you look at the big picture of what the team needs and wants and could use moving forward, him being an important player on the power play and playing more minutes and having more responsibilities is a great thing.
Does it help as well on the second unit if you maybe get a little less time, not having to worry about getting a second D out there as the power play's winding down?
See, you're thinking about this more than I am,
okay.
but I suppose that's an advantage. Yeah.
What about having Bertuzzi there down low? He's a big target, and he likes to run the net.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy as well that I've played against for a long time, and his skill around the net and the fact that he enjoys it. I think this thing's going to fall.
You got cinder blocks there.
Do we?
Yeah.
I think his kind of grit around the net and his hands and his touch and his hand-eye with tipping pucks and whatnot is a huge asset to us and to him. And to have him and Domi, Yarny and Timmy on that unit, those are some really good players. So again, our group's not going to take that responsibility lightly. We're not going to lose track of, we have to go out there and score and help the momentum and tilt the ice.
Power play was pretty successful last year. You mentioned it can be better. Like, how different might it look this year with the new assistant coach, or where do you see the rooms for improvement?
Well, I just think overall, with the players we have up front, I think you aspire to have the best power play in the league every year. I think we did 2 years ago, then I think we were up there last year, but ultimately I think Edmonton had the best one, if I'm not mistaken. So, that's the goal. So, for us, it's just a area that we believe as a team is a strength, and we have to focus on and keep working at and keep chipping away, keep improving, and obviously that process took place when we added John, and then here today, having the whole day to work on it, it's clearly a focus.
Why do you think now is the time to have Austin try killing penalties?
Is he killing penalties?
Yeah.
See, you guys are asking questions. I think when you have a guy, who's one of the best players in the world, you want him on the ice as much as you can. If I had to guess, I would say that's probably the thought. He's extremely good defensively. He's extremely responsible. He takes a lot of pride in that area. So I think all those things combined probably, is what led to that decision.
I'm sure the thrill of exhibition games is gone for you at this point in your career, but you put yourself in a case like a Easton Cowan or a Minter or someone like that who's going to get the chance for the first time in the next couple of days, maybe.
Yeah. No, I mean it's a cool experience to play in your first couple games, when it's your first time, you get amped up and you get prepared, and I think it is up to the older guys to kind of bring that energy. I think it's up to us to be leaders, and we have to get up and because if we're dragging around being negative, that impacts their experience. So I think it's important for us to really be there, be present, show up, and care, and although you might be onto something, I still am looking forward to playing. And,
Okay.
it's good to get back in action. It's a long summer, so having the chance to play and to travel again with the guys is truly is great. I'm not just saying that. I think it's important to get that game experience.
You have to sell tickets too. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
How would you describe how you're feeling a few days into this year?
Yeah, I think today was feeling really good today. For whatever reason, I think getting into it and getting some of the rest off first couple of days, get your conditioning going. So felt good today. It was a special teams day, and I got some work in, so felt good.
Has anyone stood out to you, surprised you by how well they're playing?
We haven't really scrimmaged all that much. It was a quick scrimmage. I mean, I don't know. I think nothing's really too surprising so far through camp. I think once you get into games and see guys in games, you go from there.
How do you feel Austin's skill set will translate on the penalty kill if you get some chance there?
Well, I think that's the direction our league's going in. I think a lot of teams are attacking on the penalty kill, and to have, you see it on a lot of teams, they're putting their best players out there for a reason. There's 4 forwards on the ice on the other side, so you can attack a little bit more and maybe use that to your advantage. So I think he'd be great. If you look at all our forwards last year, I think he led our forwards in block shots. He's really good defensively. I mean, it makes sense for sure.
What's been the early impressions of Mike Van Ryn coaching-wise?
Yeah, he's been great. I think, just chatting with him and doing some video and some stuff with him, it's been good. Just getting to know each other a little bit through the first few days, and then, seeing what tendencies he sees in my game and what he feels I can improve and what I do well. So it's been a good dialogue, and I think for Allardy, it'll be good.
What was your takeaway from the way last season ended for you? I know in the playoffs you weren't feeling great about how things were trending. Like, what was your takeaway from that? Is there anything you learned that you can bring into this season?
Yeah, well, I think at the end of the day, it's just you got to play better in any moment. I think it doesn't matter throughout the year, but I think especially in playoffs, you got to gear up towards it. I think for our team, obviously, it was disappointing the way we went out after a first round win, but yeah, individually, you just look at your own game, and for me, just got to be way better in those situations.
Are you the type to watch the final, and is there anything do you think you guys could learn from how the Golden Knights went about their business?
Well, yeah, I think we just got to, you can learn from those teams the way they defend and pack it in and all that sort of thing. But I think just looking at our success, when we had success, I think against Tampa, it was a lot was generated from putting pucks into the dirty areas, whether it be point shots or shots from the side or whatever it may be. I felt like in the first series we had a lot of goals that were deflected or goals that were through screens, and we didn't have as many in the second round. So that's what I saw. But there's a lot more that goes into it than that. And at the end of the day, we have to look at ourselves. We know we have the team. It's just in those moments we have to find those ugly ones, I think.
You like extra work during morning skates and all that. Does that extend to exhibition games at this point in your career? Or?
Well, the first couple for sure. I think you're just trying to get as many touches and reps, I think, as you can early in the preseason and early in the season, and then look at managing it after that, I think. But we'll see how it all plays out. Usually your game plan going into day one always changes based on where you're playing or injuries or stuff like that. So you gotta be ready for anything.
Can you put yourself in the shoes of some of the younger kids who are going to play in their first game the next little while? And how excited they must be. Yeah,
it's a lot of excitement. It's a lot of nerves too, which is a good thing. I mean, being nervous means you care, and guys will be nervous, but you'll see a lot of jump, especially in the first few games. I think you always see it year in and year out, right? Guys are having really good preseasons. Most of the time, it's usually young guys who are flying around out there. But as a vet, you got to get to your game quick nowadays too. You want to be sharp for game one.
Anything notable happen in your first preseason game in the NHL? I'm not sure if you even have any.
Oh my God!
Recollections of this. Take a walk down memory lane here.
I can't remember. I mean,
It's a long time ago.
yeah, I can't remember. That was. I remember being though. I do remember the thought of how much faster and quicker things happen for sure. I don't know if that was. I think that was my first game in St. Louis, My first NHL game, I was like, wow, this is different for sure, and it's quick. So that's what I remember.
With Craig Anderson out of the league now, I think you hold the mantle as the oldest. Was that a goal of yours, or it's something you take pride in, or did you ever think you'd be that?
I always said I wanted to play till I was 40, so I think I'm going to get there in a couple of weeks, and that's a goal of mine. I think being the oldest guy in the league, you could look at it however you want to, but I better look at it in a positive way. So no, I feel good. I feel you know what? I feel like it's an accomplishment, but more importantly, I just feel like I can still contribute and play well for our team. So that's what I look at.
Anything go into the weight tape so far at camp? Or?
Yeah, I was saying to the guys, maybe I'll get some more passes if they mistake me for another player. No, I'm joking. There's nothing that goes into it. With me, it's just changing things up, giving the eyes a different look is what I try to do a lot.
How long have you been with the black?
A while. I started my career with white for like 5 or 6 years. For whatever reason, I changed to black, and now I'm back to white. So we'll see how long that lasts.
Just different styling.
Yeah. No, different look. Different look on the eyes. It feels different.
What was that special teams work like with Guy Boucher today?
It was good. It's a little bit different from what they've done before, but got some good reps in, and it was good for me to get some reps. A lot of fun.
What is the idea with the lines on the ice there?
I won't tell you. No, it's kind of just kind of markings to see where we want to end up after a shot and stuff like that. So just kind of to help you a little bit on the ice first couple times you do it, I guess.
How excited are you to get the opportunity to be involved in the power play? And you came into the league as kind of an offensively inclined guy when you were drafted. What do you think that could help add to your game?
Yeah, no, I think it'll be a lot of fun to get some reps there. As I said, it was something I was doing a lot when I first got drafted, and played a little bit power play with Morelos as well, and then haven't been playing too much PP up here, so should be fun. Should be fun to get some reps there, and hopefully I do okay.
What's the next step for you, Timothy, this year when it comes to your game?
I want to grow my game in every area, but I think I want to get some more responsibility in the PK and maybe get some reps on the power play now, and just get more responsibilities over every game. And I think consistency as well is something I've been trying to focus a lot on. I think last year I had some good stretches, but there were also some stretches where I didn't play very well. So I think consistency is probably the biggest priority.
How does it feel to actually be at camp now, and be able to participate? Last year you got a late start to the year because of the hernia and everything like that. Where do you feel you're kind of at in terms of physically?
Yeah, no, body feels great. I felt great last year too, coming into camp, and then unfortunately I needed surgery. So this year it feels good to kind of get going with my body in good shape right from the get-go.
What's the biggest difference you've noticed now that Brad's taken over?
Not too much. Talked to him a little bit. I think it's the same message. We got high expectations from himself, and just kind of to be consistent and come to rink and try and improve every day. I think was the message he said, and I think that's what we're doing. So.
You fired up a bit to get into some exhibition games too?
Yeah, it'll be fun. Been some time since we last played, so it should be fun to get going again.
What's your sense of Mark being paired with him and how he's come into this camp as a spry, almost 40-year-old?
Yeah, no, he's same old Gio. He's in great shape. I think he's been looking pretty good out there. So obviously got some chemistry with him, playing with him before. So that's fun.
How do you feel Klingberg might change the dynamic with that power play unit? And take us kind of through the thoughts of putting him there after Morgan had a lot of success in the spot over the years.
Well, in terms of the thought process, we know very well what it looks like with Morgan there. We've got a huge sample of that, so it's something we can go to at any time. We feel very comfortable with it. We don't know what it looks like with Klingberg, so there's some different dynamics there. You know, he's a right shot, which is probably the biggest change, you know, when you look at it. But Klinger's had lots of success in that position as well over his career. So we just want to use this as an opportunity to help Klinger get comfortable, and there's no better way to do that than to be with our best people, and then just get a good sample of what it looks like with him in that position, and then get to make some decisions as the preseason moves along in terms of how we'll start the regular season. But it's important to have options, and it's not just the Klingberg, Rielly, but with Bertuzzi and Domi, these guys have a lot to offer at the power play as well. In fact, I thought that group looked really good here today in the practice. So we've got a lot of really good options there on both groups.
What's it like when you have new members of the coaching staff when it comes to collaborating, picking each other's brains, and kind of learning new things from each other?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, anytime you bring somebody in new, it's a chance to learn more through their experiences, their knowledge. Spencer Carberry, when he arrived here, brought a lot to us and to me as a coach. And to bring, same with Dean Chanel, he comes in from Carolina and he brings a lot to our staff that way. Manny comes from Vancouver. So you gain a lot from those guys. And I've had 2 this offseason while still retaining and having the familiarity of Dean and Manny has been great. So, both Guy and Mike have had lots of success through their career as coaches. Mike wins a Stanley Cup running the D and the penalty kill in St. Louis, and Guy as a head coach has had a ton of success and has a great passion for the power play. He has run the power play, with Team Canada and the World Juniors and these kind of things over the years. So it's pretty natural for him that way. Even when he's been the head coach, he's really been passionate about the power play and spent a lot of time with it. So he is excited for this opportunity, and like I said, both guys have brought a lot to our coaching staff, and with the familiarity again with Dean and Manny, and the way I've been able to delegate the responsibilities, to me, it's as complete a staff as we've had in terms of being able to provide for the players.
Why do you feel right now is a really good time to give Austin a longer look at as a PK guy?
Well, there's opportunity there. That's the biggest thing. I guess maybe opportunity isn't the right word, because for a guy like Austin, there's, you make opportunities generally, but I would say more there's a need. There's a void, perhaps is the best way to describe it. So we want to use the preseason for that. We've done this in the past with him to give him the reps. I think this will be a longer look for him, just to get comfortable, familiar with it. I think I said when we opened camp that ideally for me, Austin's comfortable to take penalty kill reps. Same with Willie, who has killed more than Austin over the last couple of seasons, and we'll take a bigger step this year as well, but also have others step up. So depending on what the game is calling for, we can utilize different people in different situations. So, sometimes you want to be able to keep Austin for the first shift coming out of the penalty kill. That 5-on-5 shift is an important one. You can get a lot of favorable matchups coming out of that, where the other teams just finish with a lot of their top players on the power play. And then, of course, Austin's excels at 5-on-5. So if you're going to use him on the penalty kill, he's going to play less at 5-on-5 as a result. So that's all stuff to manage for me with both Austin and William, and even Mitch for that matter, as we think we can increase our depth and options with the rest of our forward group. So look at that, but I think right now it's just about getting guys comfortable with it.
Do you remember 2 years ago when you did try Austin there, why you didn't stick with it? Was it strictly like a personnel thing, or was it just kind of where he was at?
It was just more a personnel thing. It was just felt we had other guys at that time that could take on those minutes, and for all the reasons I just said, it freed up Austin to play at 5-on-5 and to jump the opposition coming out of the kill. And I thought we had lots of great options at that time, and our penalty killing was going really well, so we just sort of had gotten away from it for those reasons. But like I said about Willie playing center, like Austin can do anything you ask him to do, or anything he puts his mind to. So he's embraced it here in the early going, and we'll continue with it through preseason.
Safe to say a lot of kids going in the lineup the first few exhibition games?
Yeah, well, we're going to start 5 games in 7 nights coming up here, so yeah, we're going to be moving things around quite a bit.
Yeah.
With the lines on the ice and like the pylons and stuff, what sort of like principles are you looking to hammer home when it comes to the power play stuff you did today?
Yeah, I think it's more like every coach has their own way of going about it and installing their principles and concepts. Some like to go 5-on-0 with nothing on the ice. Some like to go right to 5-on-4. Some like to go 5-on-4 with the sticks turned over. This is what Guys like to have some lines and some direction, and instead of players with sticks turned over that are passive, get the cones out there just to visualize some of the seams and what's available and such. So I don't think you'll see too much of that as we get going, but it's just for the install here today. It was a good opportunity to give them a little bit of a sense of what he's been talking about in the meetings and bringing that to the ice.
Power play's been so good, but Morgan was saying you can still be the best. So I'm curious how you balance that, not wanting to lose the good stuff with still finding the tweaks and finding.
Yeah, there's a couple things. I think it's you are always trying to get better. The opposition, the penalty killers, are always going to try to get better. I think the power plays were generally at an all-time high in terms of efficiency last season, and a lot of penalty killing coaches will be tightening up this off season, and they'll make adjustments, and you want to continue to grow that way. With the new coach coming in, it's a chance to add some different looks. And it's not just, we think we're going to have a good power play again. We're going to succeed a lot. The reality is, even the top power plays, they come in around 25% or somewhere in that neighborhood, 25, 30. So you're failing a lot. And at times we don't expect to take any sort of step back in our success rate. We want to do better in the times when we fail on the power play, if that makes any sense, in terms of still putting pressure on the opposition and generating momentum and getting the opposition on their heels and having more pace. Like, those are all things that you're looking to accomplish. Every time out, it's not always going to go in the net, but we want to have a great purpose every time out.
Are you still obligated by the league to dress a certain amount of veterans for each exhibition games, and how do you go about picking those based on your...
I believe the number's 8. Yeah. And we've got a lot of guys here. We got a lot of options. That's in any of the lineups that we've put together, forecasting all the way through. That's never been a concern for us. We got a lot of options. I think there's 4 or 5 guys that played for the Marlies last year that qualify in the rules for veteran status. But we've got a lot of depth and a lot of guys that fit those criteria. And we do have a lot of games here we've got to manage, especially this back-to-back coming here and a back-to-back at the end of the week. So we'll be smart about it. But also the guys competing for spots and guys we want to get comfortable in our system, so we got to get them reps too.